Yeah. Hey. All right. Hey. Yeah, I mean.
We about to take off.
Hey. Please do remain calm. About to run against it and with a little bit of soul, no time.
Welcome to the Please Remain Calm podcast. I am Ben Gonzalez.
And I am Daniel Gonzalez.
And we are here today with our guest, Mr. Joe Praido of the Dirty Sports Podcast. Hey, what's up, Joe?
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Glad to have you on. So you're a real broadcasting voice there, too.
Yeah.
You know what
I was
mean?
just about to say that about you guys. I was like, you guys sound real good. I don't know if it's these headphones, but you guys sound legit.
But we'll have a lot of guests come on who are, firefighters, paramedics. They haven't, been, broadcasted before.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can't hear them.
Haven't learned
you
the
gotta
importance of projecting
Get
your
them
voice.
into, but here we have Joe. Joe's a fucking pro. And we
we
could
love
also say Joe's a comedian. A lot of times we do have firefighters on. Joe looks like he could be a firefighter. Got the stash.
Yeah,
I'm sure maybe you get that.
I do.
Time and again.
I get firefighter and I get cop. I joke about how when I was younger, I used to have long hair and a beard all the time and was like running around Brooklyn with like weed in my backpack, and cops would just be like, "Come here, what do you got?" And now I rock the mustache, and cops are like, "Keep up the good work." Blue Lives Matter. I'm like, I'll see you out there.
Yeah, right. Seriously. And then here you are. You're a firefighter with a stash. Always plays a cop.
That's true. Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Have you played? You played paramedics.
Played paramedic a couple times. But
Yeah, but not really like a firefighter.
No,
in
not
a show,
firefighter.
Huh? That's funny,
Yeah.
huh?
I'm not sexy enough to be a TV firefighter.
That's true. You have to be really
be
hot to be a
hot
fucking
as
firefighter.
Yeah.
to be a firefighter on TV. Bro.
And if you're gonna be a chick firefighter on TV, you have to be like a model, dude.
yeah.
Yeah. Like he's like, oh my god, dude. Like shit.
And either one, you have to bone everybody in the fire station.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's why
seems to be the
everybody's
rule,
got a
huh?
firefighter fantasy, because every firefighter on TV or movies is like the hottest person ever.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. And
See,
in
it's-
actuality,
See, and it's funny too because when we
just
were
a bunch
growing
of dads.
up, when we were growing up, the firefighter show was Emergency. Nobody's sexy
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
on
yeah.
Emergency.
They
There was
all
like,
look. They
the
all
one
look like our
nurse,
dad.
I guess was all right.
Yeah.
There was the blonde nurse, but she was like old to us.
I don't even
Yeah.
remember Emergency.
You don't
Wasn't
remember Emergency?
Oh,
No.
God, dude.
Oh, dude.
That was
Yeah.
the show.
It was like a L.A. County fire department,
Yeah.
and like one of their squads. And it was like two paramedics, and it would focus on them and go on their calls and everything. But they were actors.
Got it.
Yeah, you got to seek that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
was
all,
cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
during
It was a
during
70s
quarantine,
show, yeah.
I'm looking for all kinds of shit to
It was
watch.
on with
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
MASH
that's
and
worth
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had new firefighters on the last show, and I was going to ask them about that. Like, what's your show that you watched? Like, oh, this was a
Yeah,
firefighter
yeah, yeah.
TV show, because they're all lame now.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to say? Chicago Fire or something? It's
No.
like, it's like,
I mean, what?
Oh, yeah,
Rescue Me?
sorry.
Rescue Me?
Rescue Me was dope.
Yeah,
right?
Rescue Me.
Kinda.
Rescue Me is probably gets as close
Yeah.
to reality as it could get, but even that gets all, dramatized.
But then if you ask Dad, he hated Rescue Me. He
Oh, really?
He thought the whole show was bullshit.
Yeah, no
He's
shit.
like, that's ridiculous.
See, that's how all these other shows are to me right now.
Yeah.
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 The Station 19,
I know.
911, and all that stuff. They're so dramatized. You
Yeah.
know?
See, and I get in a thing with that too, because my ex-girlfriend loved 911.
Yeah.
Right. And I would talk shit about what was happening on it. She said, oh, because it's just technical. And it wasn't so much like technical things. Like, I don't care about them putting the leads on wrong or
Yeah.
shit like that, or they don't hold the monitor right. Well, who cares?
Yeah.
It was just stuff that just seemed like any logical person just wouldn't do that. Like the
Yeah.
cops, I mean, even.
Yeah.
Like there was a scene where like Angela Bassett's a cop and she like handcuffs herself to her bedpost like during sex,
Yeah.
and she can't reach the keys. And she calls 911
Yeah.
to get the cuffs on.
Yeah,
like,
never.
bro, like no one is ever gonna call
Yeah,
911 on
exactly.
themselves.
Yeah, right?
Number one, and number two, like, is that bed like cemented to the floor? Like
Yeah,
you can't
yeah, you
slide
can't
your
scoot.
bed over,
It don't
dude.
scoot.
Yeah, like you can't read. Like
You
come
can't
on,
call your
man.
neighbor or your
Yeah,
like
right?
bestie to come over
it's
and get
insane, dude. Yeah, it was, there's just shit like that.
Yeah, man. I try
Yeah.
to tell people the fire department is a lot more like Tacoma FD.
I haven't
than
seen
than
that.
it is like any of the other like 911 calls.
Yes.
It's a comedy, dude. The
Yes.
fire department is a fucking comedy. 95% of the time, and then 5% of the time we're like legitimately saving people's lives.
Yeah.
Or, like doing like serious fucking pulling people out of situations that would kill them.
Yeah.
But 95% of the time we're
yeah, it's just- yeah.
In the-
we're
in the town-
mechanics and we're taking care of our
Yeah,
tools and shit, and we're shooting the shit and fucking around.
In
you
the
know?
town I grew up in New York, the firehouse was all volunteers. I mean, there was like, you know, 2 guys who are like full-time firemen. And everybody else is volunteer.
That's the majority of the country, man.
And we would always joke, like, if you were a fuck up in high school and you never left town, you're going to be a firefighter. You're going to hang out at the firehouse. And I was like, I don't want any of those people coming if my house catches fire. All the fucking drunk, you know, guys who never, drunk townies who never went to college.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about emergency because I've been trying to make a little lead into what we're going to go into, all right? Because they would always have episodes of emergency where, you know, they do typical, you know, station shifts and shit and do runs and stuff. But then once in a while, they want to break up that monotony, and they'd have an episode where they're off duty.
Yeah.
And then they would always have to fucking rescue somebody when they're out there going on a fishing trip.
Station
you know what
trip.
I mean? Just any kind of like vacation they do.
You know,
something fucking happens.
My
dude.
favorite ones were the like crazy calls. Do you remember the call where there was like a spitting cobra? Do you remember that one? And he had to walk in with like an ashtray over his eyes because he don't want to get spit in the eyes with the cobra.
Yeah.
Sounds like the best show ever.
It was.
Oh, dude, emergency's the best. You got to seek that out. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, it'd always be something where they had to rescue somebody. Yeah.
So, what we have Joe on? Everybody, you know, as you know, our guests always have some kind of incident that they were involved in, something that happened to them. Joe had what could be called, I guess, a vacation injury.
Vacation injury.
It wasn't quite
On the
vacation
slopes.
for him,
So
though.
a working vacation.
A working vacation, because luckily, you know, Joe's a comic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So you're out there performing.
Yeah, one of the sweet gigs you can get in Lake Tahoe. There's an improv there.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and you can get it's a week, right?
Yeah, it's like Wednesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's it's awesome. You're in a casino. You're right at state line. There's the ski mountains. The gondola literally drops you off basically at the hotel.
Yeah.
There's a golf course right there. It's the best. And you're on the lake, like summer, lake, boat shit, winter, on the ski slopes.
Is it the hotel that's paying you, or is it?
Well, it's no, it's the improv that's paying for you.
Yeah.
The improv's like inside the hotel.
Oh, nice.
But it's great. It's like, you know, like you go to a casino and they got a whatever
in the
like,
lobby.
They got an improv in the casino there, and it's dope. And it's weird though. Every time I've been there, I've had not every time, but almost every time I've had some weird thing happen. One time I got altitude sickness and was drinking on the golf course, and I drink a lot. And I was not drinking a lot on the golf course. I had like 3 beers and a rum.
That sounds like some made up shit you say when you're drunk and you're trying to convince your friends that you're not drunk.
Totally.
It's altitude sickness, bro.
But it was like I was like wasted. I went and took a nap after golf and never woke up. And like woke up to security pounding on my door with my buddy there who had come to see the show, being like, "You were supposed to be on stage 5 minutes ago." And I went down and like was totally like blacked out trying to do comedy. And then like eventually the MC just like literally lured me off stage with a bottle of water and was like, something's fucked up. You're drunk or whatever.
How long were you out on stage?
I think I was on stage like 7-8 minutes.
Oh my God. Do you have the video?
Yeah. No.
Oh man.
But the video exists though, right, Joe?
But apparently I went up with like my my golf stuff still on. Like I went home and like fell asleep and like got up and my zipper was still down and some girl in the front. I have no recollection of any of this.
Dude.
And this girl's like, "Your zipper's down." And I like climbed off the stage and kneeled down or like sat down in front of her and had her zip it up for me. And now this guy's like, "This is it. It's over." So the next morning I had to do like an apology tour and be like, "I swear I was not blackout drunk." Like,
look at my medical records.
Yeah.
Here, I signed the HIPAA.
That was your JFL audition.
yeah. So that was wild. I was like, I gotta make this right because I love coming up here. And then of course, you know, 3 times later I'm up there, I fuck up my leg.
Bro, do they bring it up every time you come back?
No, because it like no one runs the show. Like you just go there and you just kind of like show up at the room and like. Literally, no one runs that show. It just kind of happens.
There's not even like a DJ that's always there. Like,
no, there's like
staff?
a 90-year-old like backstage like stagehand who comes down for like who's deaf who comes downstairs and goes like 2 minutes.
So is it a couple of shows a night?
Yeah, it's one show every night. I think it's like 2 on Saturday. It used to be 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. I think it's just 2 Saturday now. And by now I mean most recently because I don't think it'll probably ever happen again. Who knows with all this shit? But
and during the day. The day's yours.
The day's yours.
To fuck around and do whatever you want.
To snowboard, to golf, to go out on the lake, to
that's like one of the best gigs because there's so many other weekends where you're like that and you're just in some shit town and I got all fucking day here. You just watch Netflix, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like in Fresno. I'm going to watch all the Making of Murderers because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
I was waiting for my show. You know
So
what I mean?
so take us back. You're there. Is it the first day there or the second day there?
It was.
Had you done any shows at this
I
point?
had done. It wasn't the first day there, so it was Wednesday. It was Friday. It was my Friday of the weekend. So it was Wednesday through Sunday, and it's Friday. Wednesday, you always get there and just kind of do the show.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, I went snowboarding. I was opening for Eddie Ift. So Eddie's a skier, snowboarder too. So we went out on Thursday, and on Thursday, my binding broke, and I had to like go down the whole mountain on one with like not strapped into one side.
Yeah.
And Eddie's like, dude, this is a classic you. And then Friday, I literally said this on Friday morning. I was like, man, if my binding breaks, like, just should anything ever happen to me, should I get like seriously injured? Just kill me. Like, I'm a fucking comic. I don't have health insurance. Like, I was like, Eddie, kill me if something happens. And I was out with Eddie and two of my friends who live up there in Tahoe, and we all went to lunch together on the mountain, had a couple beers, and there's a California side of the mountain and a Nevada side, and we were parked in the California side, but we were drinking or having lunch, really, just on the Nevada side. So we're going to do one of those nice and easy, like cross
Take it home.
run things, and like Eddie and I were going to keep snowboarding, and these guys were going to work at a bar they work at.
So there's runs you could do where you start in Nevada and then you end in California.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Or like to end the day, you know, you're at the top of the mountain, your car's way the hell over here.
Yeah.
You plan out your runs, you know. I'm gonna take
Exactly.
this easier because because now you're half drunk
Exactly.
after a day of snowboarding and shit, right?
Totally.
And so you're like, I'm gonna take it easy down here and then take this run over here and wind up down by the car. Right?
And the ones that traverse like all the way across
Yeah.
are nice and easy. I mean, it was almost as flat as this table, the run I was on.
That's when they get you.
That's when they get you.
That's when they get you.
And I'm just going along. We're trying to get my friends back to the California side. And I'm just going along on this little catwalk. And, you know, when you're on skis, you don't care because you could always go and start pushing with your poles. But with a snowboard, you're just like, pick a little line, get on your edge, and just try to keep your
and
speed.
pray for the best.
Yeah, try to keep
Another
your speed.
reason why skis are better than snowboards.
Yeah. But just try to keep your speed so you don't have to like unclip and push your way. So I'm literally going, I mean, I don't know, 12 miles an hour, you know, something very nice and easy. And I'm next to Eddie, and this guy is going even like, I would say extra slow for the catwalk. He's right in the middle. Eddie goes and passes him on the left. I'm going to pass him on the right. And I'm literally approaching him, and I'm about to say right. You know, you give people a heads up they're going to pass. Right as I'm about to say that, for no reason whatsoever, he just like starts falling. Like he just falls, like catches an edge, and just goes right-hand turn.
Fucking snowboards, bro.
Yeah.
Snowboards.
Yeah.
1 minute, they'll just decide it's time for you to die.
Yeah.
Time for you to fall over. Boom, and you're falling
I've
over.
described it as I'm in the middle lane of a highway, and the guy in the left lane of the highway decides to make a right turn, a straight right turn to exit. And just as he's going down, I run directly into his back. If he had fallen a little sooner, I would have like hit him with my ankles and probably like flipped over him. If he had fallen a little later, I probably would have shoulder barged into him and like knocked him over.
Right.
But as he was going down, he hit me right in the front of my knee, and I just knew that second. I've never felt pain like that. Just laying on the ground, screaming F-bombs, like losing my mind.
Did you feel a crack, a pop when it happened, just pain?
I didn't feel a pop, but I just felt immediate worst pain I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And
what did your injury wind up being?
So I broke my fibula, which is the outside one. Yeah. I broke my fibula and I broke my tibial plateau.
Oh.
So the tibial plateau
hurts.
shattered, and that was after the whole thing. The doctor's like, you know, he's talking to me. How do I feel? All this stuff, and he's just gone, well, let's just hope you broke your fibula. And I was like, are we hoping for breaks at this point? And he's like, yeah, because that's just a cast and you're good, but we're going to go take x-rays and we'll check it out. He's like, he came back out. He's like, good news, bad news. He's like, good news, you broke your fibula. I was like, still not sure how that's good news. And he's like, bad news, you shattered your tibial plateau. and he was telling me that, that's the top of your tibia, and it's a ball, it's like a thing that meets your knee joint.
Right at the knee.
Yeah, and he's like, that's shattered, so it's just going to fall. So we have to do surgery and put in plates to hold it up and just keep it in position. So I was like, Eddie, I told you to kill me, man. Like, what the fuck is happening? Now I got to. So that, he was like, we're going to do surgery right away. And then he was like, you're too swollen, and we can't do surgery right away. So he's like, where are you from? Like, L.A. And he's like, if I were you, I would stay here the rest of the weekend if you got a hotel room and just relax, take a bunch of painkillers, keep your leg, elevated, iced, all that stuff.
They didn't reduce it? He just said it's just too swollen?
Yeah. He was just like, keep icing it. And then he's like, when you get back to L.A., you can find a doctor or find whatever and have surgery. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to be up here for the whole weekend anyway, I guess I'm doing like wheelchair comedy shows on heavy medication. So 3 nights of injured, angry comedy about how Mexicans shouldn't snowboard, because that guy, I was doing jokes. I was like, I don't say put a wall around the country, because I love the Mexican people, but definitely put it around ski mountains, because that dude fucked me up.
They got no business.
And he was,
the bottom line, you got no
he was
business.
super stoned too. I could smell it on him, and I'm like, this is fucked. So yeah, that's the brief version of it. And there's a lot of intricacies, as you guys know.
So you're out on this trail when this happens, right? How did you get? It was your buddy that was with you. Was he ahead of
He
you?
was gone.
He's gone.
So the 3 of them were ahead of me. I was bringing up the rear. Eddie was right in front of me when it happened, but like,
you don't pay attention. You don't pay attention behind you, man.
Yeah, exactly. I hit him. I go down. There's a couple seconds, but I mean, I was probably 300 yards from the next like opening of all the trails, where there's like a little house and a little lodge and whatever.
Convergence of people.
They don't hear you scream?
So no. So all my friends.
There's no one to hear you scream.
Yeah.
That's like misery.
So when you're doing
the
that,
cholo
usually,
is just he caught his edge and he's gone now. You're just laying there.
He's stuck there. So the dude I hit was there, and he's like, oh fuck, I'm so sorry. And I'm just screaming.
Oh fuck, fool.
Yeah, I'm just screaming.
He starts filming you.
Yeah, he's like, "You need like help." I'm like, "Yes, like get help, like go." So he stays
Your
there.
shit's all fucking facing backwards.
Well, that was the thing. I'm laying there, and I don't know what it is, but I know my left leg is
screwed.
bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, get it out of the.
And you got snow
thing.
pants on. Yeah, your boot.
Your shit's off your knee.
Are you still? And you're still strapped into your board.
In.
Okay.
So I told him, I'm like, yo, get me out of the unstrap my left leg. So he unstraps my left leg. Some guy skis by. He's like, do you need help? I'm like, yeah. He goes, I'm going to go get help. Next thing I know, a ski patroller comes by. I'm still just on the ground. This guy's got me out of my binding now. I'm screaming. I'm just like, fuck. He's like, it's really bad. Yeah. And then at one point, dude, I'm telling you, he was so stoned. He's like, yeah, man, my back kind of hurts too. I was like, I don't care. Like, unless you have a spinal cord injury, do not bring your, I'm in pain too.
The nerve.
Yeah. So ski patrol guy comes, puts up like his skis in a cross, because they were, we were right around a little corner.
Was it one of those St. Bernards?
No.
The barrel.
Man, I wish it was.
Drink this.
The barrel full of whiskey.
Yeah, dude.
Only in cartoons, right?
He speaks English.
It's only in some
That's what I was
Chili Willy
hoping
shit. So then ski patrol comes, and they give me the whole paramedic shit. Like, what does this feel? How do you do it? Blah blah blah. And I'm like,
did they cut your pants off?
They didn't. No,
they didn't.
they just got me on a sled. And I've skied and snowboarded for, I was trying to figure it out, like at least 33, 34 years of my life. Mm-hmm. Like I started skiing when I was 5, 6 years old. I've never been on a sled. Right? Yeah. I've never been on a sled. I've only seen people. And I've only been the guy on the fucking lift making jokes. Oh, getting a free ride down. Exactly. Classic. You know. Now I'm strapped to a sled. And
did they splint at all?
They did nothing on the mountain.
Nothing. They just wanted to get you down, basically.
Yeah, so they just put me on the sled. The guy skied me down to the next break, and then another guy, they transferred my sled over to a guy with a snowmobile.
Okay.
And he took me the rest of the way to, like, the mid-mountain, and then they put me on the gondola going down. And when I got to the gondola, he was like, can you walk on it? And I was like, I don't think so. And he's like, just try. And I tried to walk on it for a second. Was like, no, that's not happening.
Nobody tried to immobilize your leg the whole time.
No.
You should dangling.
Yeah. So then I go, so then I take the gondola down, and it drops you off right where the clinic is there, where they have all the doctors and all the, people.
Yeah.
And I get there, and there's it must have had a bad day on the mountain or something. Like, all the rooms are full. They're like, go chill in the waiting area for a minute. We'll send somebody out to do like a pre-thing, and then we'll get you in to see a doctor. And this guy comes out. And he's like, okay, tell me how you're feeling. Tell me what happened. Tell me the whole thing. And I'm like, okay. He's like, what's your pain level? I'm like, more than I've ever felt pain. So I guess like
most
11?
excruciating pain of my life.
I was like, I don't know what more than this pain feels like. So I'm gonna go 10. I'm just gonna go. I'm in a 10 amount of pain.
Yeah.
And I'm already like, again, I'm a comic, and I've got no health insurance, so I'm like, I'm all concerned about, like, I don't want to see a doctor if it's just like this terrible bruise and, whatever. So he's like, well, do you want to go in? I was like, I just, I want to be healthy. And he's like, all right, well, I got all your info. I got how you're feeling. I got the thing. He's like, if you want to try to, like, stand on it now that you've had a little longer, like, we won't, like, if you feel good, I won't make you go in. So I stand up, and I just like immediately collapse in pain. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, all right, well, we're going to take you to see the doctor. And after the whole x-ray and everything, this kid who had done my pre-screening comes like running into the room. He's like, bro, your tib plateau shattered. Are you kidding that you were out there like talking to me about it and like saying you wanted to try to walk because of health insurance? He's like, you're fucked up, dude. He's like, you're going to be in surgery. Like, you get months of recovery. I'm like, well, dude, I told you what happened, and you told me fucking try to walk on it. So
no x-ray at all?
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
for it, dude.
He's like, if you want to try. And then he was just like, I can't believe. He's like, we had some lady in here last week with this same thing, and she was like inconsolable, and we had to like give her a shot and have her bite on a belt and shit like that. I was like, well,
hey man,
it
I'm a
hurts.
Marine.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just broke and didn't want to pay for it, but I guess I am.
American healthcare.
A lot of people
what I'm saying?
react to pain differently too.
Praido was ready to walk out of there.
I just kept trying.
Nothing below his kneecap. This will be all right.
If you catch it right, though, you can balance on it. Yeah, man. Those little hospitals too, by the ski resorts and shit, they see broken bones.
Yeah.
Like that all the time, dude.
Yeah.
Like we went to Mammoth, right? And I think it might have been, I think it's the first time I ever been to Mammoth, actually, because we used to go to June Mountain right on the backside of Mammoth, right?
Yeah.
And I ski, right? Been skiing since I was 5, probably. And I tried snowboarding before and fucking fell half the day, and it was just like, what the fuck am I on this stupid ass snowboard for? I already know how to ski, right? So anyway, we wound up going to Mammoth, and I'm a pretty fucking good skier, right? And that becomes a problem too when you think you're really good at something, you know what I mean? And then you get up to like, Tahoe or Mammoth, and it's
like a real mountain.
It's like a real mountain, right? But even then, I still felt like I was a good fucking skier. Like,
I confident. You'll be fine.
Super confident, dude. Black Diamond, easily, right? So we get to Mammoth. We get there. When we get there, it's dumping snow, and we get there at night. And so we settle into the hotel and shit. It dumps all night. We get up in the morning, go get on some skis, right? Get up the lift, and right away, it's a fucking disaster. It dumped all night. So it's fresh fucking powder. Deep, like to our knees. And I'm not used to that shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother beast trying to turn and deep powder and shit, right? Okay. So we go through like a half a day of this, of just eating shit. Me and Bernie, right? My wife. She's on a snowboard. But it's just like too fucking deep. It's too.
And then when you fall, you can't get out.
Yeah, it's a
like,
bitch to get up. Okay,
You're
and it's still like the storm is still there, so it's super gray and it's really lightly dusting now, and so it's just wet and gray and cold. And I know I sound like a bitch, to like real skiers that like go out searching for that shit, but it was just like miserable, dude. Like all day, just like in deep shit, trying to stay on my feet and shit, right?
Yeah.
So finally, we get to half the day is done. I'm like exhausted from fucking Bernie's exhausted from falling and digging through the snow and shit. So we plan out our last. Hey, we're way the fuck over here. Actually, we were like mid mountain. And then the way we planned it out was, okay, we'll just take this one and this one because then we can take this one down this way, down to where the car is. So we take this one back up, we get off, and the route we were going to take is closed. It's like fucking too much snow that we're fucking closing this area, right? So we had to make this right down this like steep drop off. I gotta pee, dude. I gotta pee. I'm fucking exhausted, right? I'm already fucking. I got snow in everywhere already. My fucking nuts are freezing and shit, right? I make this turn, start going down, fucking eat shit, right? Tumble a little bit, and it's steep. I only have one ski. Where the fuck is my other ski? So I'm looking around. I see my fucking other ski up there. So I'm like, fuck. So Bernie's like, do I wait for you? I go, just go ahead and go, man. I'll catch up to you. I start trekking, trying to climb up this incline to get my freaking ski, right? 10, 15 minutes of trudging through this fucking deep-ass snow to get up to my ski. It's not my fucking ski. It's a fucking rock up there, dude, peeking through the snow. So now I'm like, where the hell's my ski, right? Now I'm looking around. I have no idea where my ski is. Okay, my ski is just lost. Okay, my level of I have to pee is absolute peak now, right?
You gotta start pissing and melt some snow to find your ski,
dude. I didn't even think of that. I'm exhausted now, right? So I'm like, fuck, dude. Searching around for my ski long enough to go. You know what? Screw it. Fuck it. I was done with this shitty day, anyways, right? So I start like. Trying to like scoot down on my butt. So I'm holding a ski, 2 poles, you know what I mean? And I'm trying to scoot down on my ass because it's too steep to walk down. I finally get down to the bottom of this steep section and I'm trudging, dude, and my thighs, right? Up to my thighs in snow, carrying these fucking poles and one ski, right? And here comes a fucking ski patrol guy with a basket on the back, right? And I'm like, holy shit. And he's like, hey, you all right, man? I'm like, dude, I fucking lost my ski. You know, I gotta fucking take a piss. I'm out here by myself. I'm exhausted. He's like, all right, well, just get on top of the sled back here, right? Okay, well, when they put you in the sled, they took all their shit out of it. Yeah. So it was like a bowl.
Yeah.
You know? And then they put you in and secured you on there and then took you down, right? Okay. Well, I'm just some dumbass that has to pee that lost his ski. I'm not hurt or anything. So he goes, just get on top. So I'm sitting on top of a hump in this fucking sled, right? Holding my skis and my poles, right? Trying to hold on to this net, right? It's not even dark or anything. There's no like, you know what I mean? Like it's not even like a shitty situation. I'm not injured or anything. Yeah. I'm just a dork holding on to the back here. So he goes and he starts skiing down because around this bend, there's a bathroom fucking lodge place right there. He goes, he makes a turn. Boom! I eat shit. I roll off the top of the fucking thing, right? He's like, he stops, looks back, and he's like, hey, come on, man. I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry, dude. Getting my ski and my fucking poles. Get back on his sled. We go a little bit. The first turn he makes, I fucking fall off. And he's like, come on, man. He's like, fuck. He's like, listen, dude, you got to just go around the corner to you just walk right around those trees. We've gone a little bit now, right? So I'm like, fuck, all right. So I get off.
He doesn't want you to get back on.
He doesn't want me to get back on, basically,
like,
man.
2 strikes.
He didn't give me the option. So I'm fucking trudging through the snow, right? With my fucking ski in one hand, my poles in the other. Turn the corner. I see the lodge. Right? Fucking plant, dude.
Your wife's got 3 drinks in her already.
I plant my fucking pole and ski in the snow outside of the lodge. I fucking walk. I'm ready to fucking pass out exhausted, dude. This poor guy that's in the bathroom because I fucking walk up and and I'm like leaning, undoing my shit with my other hand, right? And just like half dead leaning against this urinal taking a leak, you know, fucking drooling. I probably had snot coming down.
It's a trash can.
Oh my God, dude. I was so exhausted. So then I fucking get done, right? I get out, I fucking get back. I'm like, fuck, where the fuck is Bernie, right? So I'm trying to call her. She's not answering this shit. I finally get a hold of her, right? So you know when there's like a fresh snow, the trees, like the snow will pile up around the trees, but around the actual trunk of the tree, it won't because the tree's covering it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the dangerous spots.
I finally get a hold of her, and she's like, oh, my God, you're not going to believe what the fuck happened. I'm like, what happened? She's like, I fucking fell in this hole around this tree, and I couldn't fucking get out. It was a wall of snow around me like 6 feet tall. I couldn't fucking get out. So she was there, trapped in this fucking tree hole.
Tree well, yeah.
Yeah, fucking screaming for help. And finally, some guy, thank God, came by, heard her screaming, and fucking dug some snow
People
out,
fucking die in those
pulled her out.
holes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we fucking get back to the hotel room. We went with Adrian and Yvette.
Yeah.
And we get back to the hotel room, and I fucking go in. I fucking take all my shit off. I'm just like in the bathroom, go to take a shower. And I'm just like, holy shit, dude. I honestly like if you really think about the facts of the situation, like I wasn't hurt or anything like that, right? But I honestly felt like that's how fucking people die, fool. That's how people die. You wind up out there with one ski.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you're the incompetent Mexican skier that took out
and
Joe.
I'm the incompetent Mexican skier.
That's what I'm thinking
that
the entire
peed all over
time.
himself. Yeah.
He's treachery on the fucking slope.
The entire time he's
guy.
telling this story, I'm
Right?
like, this
He's fucking
motherfucker.
taking people
He's
out
like,
20
And
times.
who did you crash into?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
fucking Mexican.
Yeah, right. Whose
Fucking-
tibial plateau was
Yeah,
shattered
yeah.
thanks to you.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
some guy later that day got clipped by your ski that you left
Yeah,
out
exactly,
there.
man.
And he's been in
Not even
fucking-
later that day.
Right.
2 weeks later,
Yeah.
when the snow starts to thaw, a mountain biker crashes into my ski.
And then here's the other thought. during
fucking
that
butterfly
story.
effect, man.
Okay, hey, Joe, our mom listens to the pod, right? And she group texted us this morning.
She's
You
all
guys
pissed.
say fuck
Way
too much on this show. Daniel especially. Every other word
She's all
is
pissed.
fuck with him. She's like, you're not going to get any sponsors.
Corporate America is
And then
not
this
going to want
story-
you.
This is a 3-minute story. You say fuck like 97 times. fool. Oh, my God.
I've heard that from my mom so
flipping
many
out.
times.
But she doesn't understand, though, is that's just the way I talk in general.
Yeah.
Even anybody that knows me, that's just how I talk. And I'm not bowing down to corporate America, bro. It's not why we started this podcast.
Man.
I even had on our show. I mean, I've always sworn the whole time, but
Yeah.
even Ruther at some point was like, "Dude, how many times are you gonna say fuck?" And I was like, "Who cares?
knows?
We're
It's
doing
such a
we're doing
versatile
a
word.
fucking podcast.
Yeah, exactly,
Who
dude.
gives a shit?" He's like, "But I know. I just think, man, if you save it, it's more powerful." I'm like, "The fuck are you talking
Yeah.
about?"
I'm not trying to give it power.
Yeah,
It's literally
I'm not
just the word I
thinking
use.
about it. This is how I talk.
So back to you. So this doctor doesn't want to reduce your leg at all.
Yeah.
He just leaves you be.
Yeah.
So how big is your fucking
Well, you can't really
leg?
reduce that, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Tip bib? You can reduce the tip
No,
bib.
no, no, but a fucking plateau, a shattered plateau.
I mean, pretty much every fracture can reduce that.
Yeah.
He basically was just like, if the swelling goes down, he's like, and keep an eye on it and whatever. He's like, if the swelling goes down, obviously we have great orthopedic surgeons up here. We could do it up here. And he's like, at the same time, if the swelling doesn't go down and you got to go back to LA anyway, do surgery where he's like, you're going to be in the hospital for a couple days. So, go home and do the surgery. And I'm like, I might be getting this surgery done at like a Valvoline. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have fucking.
I'm gonna Google how to do the surgery
I don't
myself.
have health insurance. I don't know who's doing this surgery. I was like, fuck it. All right. So it's hella swollen, tons of pain, but it's just painkillers and ice the whole weekend. I was in my room the entire weekend except for, an hour where somebody would come up. Ken Garr and Eddie would come up and put me in a wheelchair, take me down to the show. I'd do my 25 minutes. I'd get back in my wheelchair. I'd go back up to the elevator and back into my room. And it was just, it was swollen. I mean, I'm still swollen. It still isn't like the same size knee. This is,
Yeah, no shit.
this is 8 months later. This happened in January. I mean, it still ain't right. And this is post-surgery, but.
Oh, January is when you had the surgery?
Yeah.
Okay.
January 10th was the accident. I didn't end up having the surgery till the 22nd. So it was 12 days that I was back here.
You were on my show though with the leg cast though.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a year ago though.
No, it was
longer.
it was probably in January, February.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so I had a deja vu with him telling me that he was walking around with a tip plateau.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had the same reaction to Green, like, motherfucker, are you serious?
Yeah.
Dude? Like,
yeah, I think your guys' show might have even been the first one I did post surgery.
Yeah. He sat up there with the whole leg in the cast, dude.
Dedication.
Yeah, did a whole set.
I'm trying to think if it was even maybe before
Comedy
surgery.
Warrior.
Might have been before surgery even. It was probably after surgery.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I come back here and I don't know what I'm doing. Again, I haven't been to a doctor. I always say I haven't been to a doctor since like September 2001. Like when I was living in New York, I'm like, then 9/11 happened, and I remember like my doctor's appointment was like 2 days before 9/11, so I can always remember the last time I was at a doctor. So I come back here, and people are like, oh, everybody's got a friend, a story of fucking, oh, my mom had her knee done by this guy. You got to go. So I go see with one guy down in like Redondo, Hermosa area that my buddy like, oh, saved my mom's knee. Got to go see him. So I go see this doctor. And the doctor takes the X-rays, takes the MRI. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this." And I was like, "What?" Like,
but you're the best.
Yeah, I was like, "Your Yelp reviews are fantastic." And he's like, "Man," he's like, "You have had a trauma. You need a trauma surgeon."
Yeah.
He's like, "I used to do this back in the day." He's like, "Now I'm scoping 3 knees a morning and I'm golfing by 3 p.m." And I was like, "What?" Like you're telling me you're not? He's like he's like, there might be somebody else in my office. Come back on Thursday. So I go back, and his like younger like counterpart, who I guess does the more serious shit. Yeah,
Dr. Chaz
comes, and she comes in. It's a girl. She comes in. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this surgery." I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then
wind's blowing her hair and shit. Nope, I'm not doing it.
And then finally, somebody's like, I reached out to a friend who's like, go see this guy at Cedars here. And I walk into Cedars here at his like offices, offsite, not the hospital.
Yeah.
And he looks at it and he's like, yeah, go check into the emergency room right now. And I was like, what? And he's like, I could schedule you and whatever, but that might be 5 days from now, whatever.
It's already like 2 weeks from when you broke
I'm like,
it, right?
I'm like
Yeah.
11 days.
You probably look like shit, dude.
He goes, your knee is fucked up. He goes, go check into the emergency room right now. I'm on call tomorrow. Unless somebody has a car accident or something like that, you'll be the first person on my surgery docket. Just go in there. So I spent the night in the hospital after going to the emergency room. Next morning I wake up. He comes in and he's like, yeah, there was a car accident. So he's like, I got one more this morning, and then we'll get you in at like 2 o'clock. And then had the surgery, woke up in hella pain.
Yeah.
And totally freaking out. And then another 2 days in the hospital.
Dude, that post-surgery pain is some real shit, bro.
Yeah.
That post-surgery pain is real. That just like pure fucking deep-ass knee pain, man. Oh, my God. I've had surgery on both my knees, man.
Woke up totally out of it, and they've got me in the post-op room. And my girlfriend's got like video and pictures and stuff like that of me just being like, nope, need more fucking whatever you're giving me. I want it more, heavier. And she's like, dude, you were in tons of pain. And I had, been living with it for almost 2 weeks at that point, and was like managing it with like, painkillers. And this was just like a whole other level.
Yeah, man.
And I'm 8 months out now, and I'm still not straightening my leg all the way, and still doing. And then COVID happens, and then PT's canceled. Like, it was just a 2020, man.
Yeah,
some fucking shit.
Yeah, for real.
Banner year for Praido.
And then right as I like am finally about to be like off crutches, out of this knee brace, and like working, because I was working. I went to Aspen and did the Aspen Comedy Festival on crutches. I was in Alabama.
You did JFL.
Yeah, well, JFL was in July, so it was pre-injury, thankfully.
That's right.
But even that, like, post JFL, that's when you're like the hot little darling, and everybody wants to take meetings, and everybody wants to cast you in some shit. Yeah. And pilot season comes, and they're like, Joe Praido, JFL. I'm like, yeah, I'm in a cast. They're like, yeah, we're not gonna audition you in Traction.
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
seriously.
So that was fucked. And then I was in Alabama, in outside of Birmingham, on crutches still, when the COVID thing hits. And 2 weeks after that, I'm like, at least kind of walking again. And I haven't done comedy.
Boom.
I haven't done comedy since that
weekends,
weekend in Alabama, March 15th or whatever it was.
Yeah, and you were booked.
Yeah,
for
and
weekends coming up.
Yeah. And Alabama, they didn't give a shit. They went on with the weekend. So I'm doing the shows there.
What weekend was that?
That was I think it was the 14th, 15th of March.
It was Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Because I was in Arizona. I did a weekend in Arizona. The same shit. They didn't give a fuck. They were laughing at me for elbowing.
Yeah.
I remember a guy tells me, we don't got no fucking Chinatown, no port here, dude. We're not gonna get that shit.
Unbelievable.
We ain't getting no China virus here.
Yeah,
I came out. I was featuring, and I came out, and after the host would go up, I'd be like, "Isn't she great? Isn't she just the best?" And then I would pull out like, wipes and like sanitize the microphone, and they loved that. And then I would be like, "So great! You guys are so so courageous for being out here." I was like, "Dumb as fuck." I was like, this state, Alabama, like, you guys own that dumb shit. I cannot believe you are here. I have to be here. I'm getting paid, and I'm fucking living in a Howard Johnson for the weekend. But I was like, go home. And that's the last weekend I did. And then ever since then, I've been walking around, and I can't do stand-up. I was doing sit-down comedy for 4 months.
Yeah. This is the thing, dude. Like, doing JFL, that's like the most heat that you can have. Like as a comic, coming after that. So then, like, break your leg right after that shit. Yeah.
It's timing, man.
Yeah, and then after that, and then, like, 2 weeks after, COVID starts happening, then, like, white people are just canceled entirely. So now, like, fuck, JFL, broken leg, white people canceled. I'm never working again. Yeah. I'm trying to figure. I was like,
and you look like a cop.
It's over.
Yeah, exactly.
It's over.
Yeah.
You can't even show up to fucking protest and meet chicks or anything. Like, narc.
Get
the fuck out of here now.
Get your fucking mustache out of here, bro.
I was like, maybe I'll become a firefighter. I got the mustache. They're like, we're only hiring outside of your race at this time.
Yeah. They don't want your broken leg, dude.
Yeah.
You're a liability now.
So,
man.
Tomorrow will be my first set since March. I'm going to do a secret backyard show, and then you've invited me
on Saturday.
on Saturday.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're getting one in before Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that's the other thing. I get my show back, right? Everybody get on. Nobody's fucking performed.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ben. I don't know. Like, relax, dude. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But everybody's.
But I imagine, and you would know better than me, I haven't even been to a show, but the crowds are pretty chill about, like, understanding that people haven't been doing comedy.
I think people are just fucking happy to be out.
Yeah. And nobody's fucking up, dude. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It's like falling off a bike.
Me and the wife went to a show a couple weeks ago. It was fucking cool, man.
Yeah, it's great.
It just seemed like people were just happy.
And you guys have always run an awesome show. Like, the crowds literally always are like those crowds that, like, want to be there. The worst thing is, like, the crowds that, like, have to be there, or the crowds, especially at some of the
too fucking cool to be there.
Exactly. Yeah. You go the right or wrong night at the Improv or the Comedy Store. It's like they're just looking for the person that they hope was going to show up, and they're like, it's not you. It's definitely not Joe Praido that I was hoping came. I was like thinking maybe Dave Chappelle or like Tosh or something, and I'm like, well, you got me, man. Yeah.
Totally, man. But damn, a legend of the Lake Tahoe Improv, dude. The fucking altitude sickness set, and then a weekend with the fucking one leg twice the size of the other leg.
Yeah, the very first night, the night of the accident. I mean, I think I left the clinic at like 5, and the show's at 8.
Yeah.
So I go back. By the time I get out, Eddie brings me there. Then we go back out for painkillers from CVS. But I can't get out of the car, so like they got to take a picture of me. Eddie's got to take a picture of my life. This whole fucking thing.
It's like fraud.
Yeah. They're like we know it's not for
Text
you.
me your picture.
Yeah. So all that, and then the very first time, like, I didn't even have time to like change. Not that I could change or shower or whatever. So the first night, it's a picture of me in the sweatpants that I had on under my ski clothes. With this leg brace they gave me around on it. 1 foot in a slipper and 1 foot totally bare because
the hospital slipper?
Just like like a fucking slipper my buddy like bought me.
The anti-slip little patches on it.
And then the other one, I can't even, it's so swollen I can't even get it into like an extra large slipper. I'm just naked foot on the stage, and people are like, "What the?" And this gross ass T-shirt that I had on.
Pee-pee stand.
Yeah. And I just literally
who is this Vietnam veteran? Letting do comedy.
And the first night I didn't even have a wheelchair yet, so I come out on crutches. I get out on the thing. They're all like, "What is this
You're
a
trying
bit?"
To balance on the stool or what?
Yeah, I'm on the stool, one leg down on the floor, the other leg like up, and I just go. so anybody else go skiing today? And just like eruption. I was like, well, this is too easy.
It hits. Now I got to do this every night.
Yeah, now I'm doing character work.
Yeah. He's got a fake busted leg now.
Yeah.
He pulls on over his good leg. Yeah.
But I think it's funny because when I did your show, I remember it very clearly now. When I did your show, that was the first time I had like put on pants.
Yeah.
Like after an injury, I was like, and now like that's the same thing as like I don't know the last time I wore jeans. You know what I mean? But I remember very clearly putting on jeans to put them on, then put my brace on over it, and I got home that day. I was like, yo, this is I'm still fucked up
For the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only put on jeans to do podcasts now.
Dude, I've been sitting here the whole time like, I like this guy's style. He's got his checkered
Yeah,
pants,
nice shoes, bro.
his
Nice
baseball T-shirt,
This is
the
true.
mustache.
So speaking of baseball, Joe is the host of the Dirty Sports podcast. This has been the weirdest fucking year ever in sports.
Yeah.
What was it the other day? There was hockey, football, basketball, baseball,
U.S. Open tennis.
U.S. Open tennis,
Yeah.
and golf,
Yeah.
and soccer.
It's
All
crazy.
on the same fucking day.
Yeah.
Oh, and NASCAR, all on the same day.
I
You
know.
it's like the first time it's ever happened in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah.
It's all backed up.
Yeah, and we go so long without it, and now they all come back at the same time.
Yeah.
I had 3 TVs in my living room on Sunday, and I was like, I still need another TV.
Right.
My girlfriend loves tennis. She's watching the U.S. Open. I'm like, gotta get that Clippers game on. I had 2 football games going, tennis. I'm
Yeah,
watching.
the U.S. Open was good this year.
Yeah.
Serena got knocked out.
Yeah.
That way, and that Naomi Osaka won out of nowhere. She's got a mask on with different people got killed by the cops.
Yeah.
What's his name? Smack
Yeah.
that lines.
Yeah.
Old ass lines
Gets her in the
face.
neck.
Pissed off, it's that.
Now, as medical professionals, did she seem like she was selling it a little bit, or is that
It's a tennis ball. Come on, dude.
tennis ball catch you right
Hey,
in the
man,
throat? Like,
I saw Nitro on American Gladiator just drilling motherfuckers with tennis balls, dude, in the throat.
Yeah,
You can't
sack
take
up,
one-
lady. It's the U.S.
Yeah.
Open.
And that's your job is tennis?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not the
You know what I
first
mean?
tennis ball she's taken
Should
on
be
the
a badge
throat.
of honor getting nailed by a tennis ball.
Yeah,
after working
seems
the
like
line.
seems like she didn't like him already, and was
Yeah,
like, "Fuck
probably.
this dude." And I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
"Well, she sold the shit out of
She took
that."
a couple balls to the throat
She
from
was a plant.
McEnroe, you know, back in the day. You know what I mean?
She was working for Putin.
But yeah, man, I'm just glad to have the Dodgers, dude. That's all.
But
I'm
then that's
glad
the
to have
other thing
Dodgers.
too. It's fucking
Even-
the playoffs are in 2 weeks. Baseball just started,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the playoffs are coming in 2 weeks now,
Yeah.
dude. And
But-
we have like 4 guys that aren't hitting 200, but are like regularly in the lineup somehow. We have the best record.
Yeah.
that's Dave Roberts for you.
Yeah.
Dave
But
Roberts.
seriously, like
man.
Muncie's like $180 or something.
Yeah.
Who else sucks? Peterson is
Well-
like $180.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're batting like 3 and 4, dude.
That's the crazy thing about this baseball season, and I mean the playoffs are getting extended, but like the idea of having like a 60-game slump
Yeah,
at some point during it's totally reasonable.
yeah.
It's totally
Yeah.
reasonable that
Yeah.
like, you know, Justin Turner hits 315, but for 60 games in the middle of that, he hit
Exactly.
150. And so, you know, you got to just be like, well, I trust Muncie's going to figure it out at some point.
It's like Bellinger now. Remember Bellinger last year? He's hitting like 430,
Yeah.
400 for the start of the year, and then he just takes a huge dive. And now we're getting a season portion of the dive part.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he's
Yeah.
still, you know, he has what 22 RBIs or something, but it's
You-
nothing compared to.
Did you
Yeah.
have your podcast, your sports podcast, before all this? How long have you had this
Yeah.
podcast?
Sports podcast is almost, we started right around Super Bowl one year. So I think almost it'll be 6 or 7 years old. at
Oh,
the end of this
nice.
year. Yeah, it's been a lot. We've done, I think yesterday we did episode 659.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we do it twice a week now.
Has it been
Yeah.
hard to has it been hard to do though with like,
It-
the lack
yeah.
of content?
I mean, I think the hardest part of doing it with like during everything that was happening is like you can't not talk like COVID. You can't not
Yeah.
talk,
Right.
you know, racist cops.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the NBA cancels a game because you know somebody gets shot in the back 7 times. I don't know how to avoid that, but a lot, you know,
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all seen it these days. These people who are like, let's keep politics out of sports, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
the fuck are you talking about? They've been playing the national anthem before games
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
100 years.
Yeah.
You want to keep politics out of sports? Let's lose that entirely.
They build
Yeah.
stadiums with taxpayer money.
Exactly. Yeah, they're doing stealth bomber flyovers to get the 10-year-olds there to want to join the
Ridiculous.
military.
Yeah.
But like, you can't not talk about it. But then people are like, "Fuck you guys, you blah blah,"
Yeah.
you know. And I'm just like,
Well, it's the same thing with us too. Like, it's there, and we talk about, you know, the emergency field, you know, in general. I work with cops every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like everything is just so fucking us versus them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's so A versus Z, and there's no like
There's no nuance.
There's
at
no
all.
nuance.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground. It's like you either fucking, you know, like these poor cops that got ambushed, the LA County officers that got ambushed. It's like, that's fucking horrific, dude.
Yeah.
It's horrific. And I'm a pretty liberal guy. I mean, we're both pretty liberal in our political views.
Then you saw out of nowhere they're like telling LeBron James to match the reward.
Yeah.
Like, why is it gotta be LeBron?
Yeah. What the fuck does one?
Yeah.
It's like one does not have anything to do with the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like, what about China, LeBron? He's like,
exactly.
What are you talking
it's
about?
like constantly trying to pit these two worlds against each other. It's frustrating, man. But
yeah, so it's just hard. It's been hard to do the sports show without, like, you know, talking COVID the whole time because sports are canceled.
Yeah.
And then people are like, hey, man, maybe don't preach to us about, you know, wearing masks. I was like, I'm just trying to get sports back.
Yeah,
you know, like we do a sports show. We do 2 a week. We do at least 3 hours of sports talk every week. And there's no sports because, you know, we're going through a pandemic. There's no sports because the NBA is boycotting because of, you know, police brutality. Like, I don't know what you want me to talk about. Like,
exactly.
Right?
You want me to do like a look back at the 1980 NBA Finals, like a flashback episode?
You know what's funny though, because that's pretty much what ESPN was doing.
Yeah.
For like the first month of no content. But there were always like cool stories of like, this was Major League Baseball in the '80s. None of this shit's ever gonna happen again.
Yeah.
You know?
And then it just divulged into you know, hacky sack tournaments and shit or whatever they want.
National Cornhole.
Yeah,
Remember
National
they were showing
Cornhole
that?
Championships. Hey, I wanted before since we were talking about, you know, skiing accidents and stuff, I wanted to tell a quick. How much time do we have left? 10. Okay. We had just to kind of touch on that little like world, like you have and to take it way back to what we were talking about before, like you have your own little system that's set up here for traumas, right? Like the trauma system here. If you were to have what happened to your leg happen right here, you know, we got the ambulance right down the street that would get you, and then there's trauma centers in the area they would take you to, and you'd probably have that surgery right then and there.
Yeah.
Something to consider when you're talking about like a smaller town like that, or a town in a ski town like that, where they get a shit ton of injuries like that year round. And the majority of people that they get that are getting those injuries are from out of town.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like Bernie, I told the story about me thinking I was going to die, which wasn't a real fucking nothing really, no injury. I wasn't really going to die, but
I know when you set it up before, I was like, oh man, this is going to be good. And it turned out you just had to pee.
Turns out I just really had to pee and I got lost. Yeah. But later that trip, was it that same trip? I think it was a different trip, actually, our next trip down there. Bernie, we're there the whole fucking day, you know, skiing, snowboarding. It was a different trip because Axel was there and he was all drunk. And very last, you know, trip down, I get down the last
Another
little
Mexican guy drunk on the
That's all I keep thinking. Is that your fucking Corona is taking out white people at the knees.
Like,
and, you know,
him.
I fly down that last little thing, you know, and I whip it to the side, look up, you know, waiting for Bernie coming down. She's taking her sweet ass time coming down. And she gets like just far enough where it's like a pain in the ass if I go walking out to her, and falls over. And it wasn't even like a tumble or anything, you know, there wasn't dust or anything. She just fucking fell over. So I'm standing there watching her. She kind of sits up, looks at me, and flies back on her back
For you
and
to
shit,
come
right?
get her?
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, get the fuck up. I'm thinking to myself, you know? And she like looks and she lays back down and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? So then finally,
it's like the boxer you bet on. Come on, get up.
Pretty
get
much,
up.
man. I'm like,
get up, Brock.
Come on, damn it. Fight. So then somebody like skis up to her and is like standing there talking to her, right? She's not getting up and I'm like, oh fuck, you know? So I starting to get up there. Her fucking, she fell backwards, but she fell right on her butt. And she fucking has all this pain in her tailbone. So I get her up, get her back to the fucking room, you know, the condo we have, everything like that. And pain's just getting worse. We finally take her. She's got a broken tailbone, right? The doctor's like, you know, fuck, you know, We can do something about it. You can let it go. It'll probably heal back on its own, whatever. But she had to drive home with a broken tailbone. Okay. Cut to, I work as a paramedic. The battalion that I work in is covers LAX also. So I'm working this day at 51s. And we get a interfacility transfer. But it's a air medic flight coming in from
another country.
Coming in from Mammoth.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So it's an air medic flight, fixed wing flight that flies from Reno, Nevada to Mammoth to pick patients up that need to be airlifted off of the mountain. So it's like 8 o'clock at night, something like that. And here comes this flight. Is this guy in Mammoth? He had run off or he was like out of bounds and ran into a fucking tree. He's all jacked up. They got a nurse with them, a respiratory therapist, and a fucking paramedic and the pilot. We get him in the rescue. We got to take him to UCLA, right? It's our trauma center. Take him all the way from LAX to UCLA. And so we get runs like that, where people come in on a flight and we'll have to take them. Anyway, we wound up leaving UCLA and they're like, dude, hey man, we haven't had any food. We were about to eat dinner in Reno at like 4:30 at night. Hey, do you mind if can you stop and get us some food? So I'm like, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night now.
Wait, you still have the patient?
No, the patient. We took the patient, but I got to take the nurse and everything back.
The team.
I got to take the team back to the flight.
To the LAX,
So we stopped at In-N-Out, dude, right there in Westwood. Westwood got burgers for everybody, the whole fucking flight crew.
Do you have to still wait in the line, though, In-N-Out?
They took us real fast. Plus, it was like 10 o'clock at night, something like that, on a Wednesday.
Still
Still
the lights on,
In-N-Out, though, bro.
But yeah, it's the point being, like, you have protocols set up in your area or for your town or, for your city or your county or whatever. And it's interesting how those protocols change depending on where you are, and the resources that you have.
Yeah. And also Joe, I guess he did all his writhing and F-bombs and shit on the mountain, but by the time he's in the clinic, you're a little more settled down.
Yeah.
And that doctor probably saw you, knows you don't have insurance. It's a complicated fucking surgery.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to go back to LA?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't going to fucking deal with opening you up, dicking around for 8 hours, try to fix your knee and not get paid.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep, that's a sad truth.
Yeah, and I mean, I made him sit there and like I went through it with him too. I'm like, and he's just like, look, we would send you to this hospital right here. He's like, it's totally up to you. He's like, which I know is their move. It's just like, hey, it's your call, it's your leg or whatever. But when all is said and done, it all, I guess, worked out as it should have. The surgery was good. Yeah. So shout out to Dr. Little down here at Cedars. He took care of it. And
great place.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife just got hired there. Cedars. In the ER, yeah. Just graduated PA school from SC.
Hopefully I never see her there.
Yeah, seriously.
Exactly. Well, hell of a show we had.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
I love this paramedic talk too. It's awesome. It's like I haven't listened to your show. I didn't do my research. I was like, come in. It's better to like come and do the thing. But
fresh plate.
But I will. Because I think it's very good angle for a show, and and it was fun to do. So thanks for having me, guys.
It's a fucking good ass show.
Yeah.
That was from
That
Mom.
was from Mom.
That was from Mom.
You're doing a hell of a fucking job.
The opinions expressed here on this show are our own. They do not reflect that of the Los Angeles City Fire Department or the Los Angeles County Department of Health Services.
Except
sorry,
mine.
Mom.
Mine totally do.
Yeah. Joke. Sorry, Mom.
On
behalf of Daniel.
I don't know. I'm kind of not sorry. That's how I talk.
I know that one segment, it was heavy. You know what I mean? We're not going to clear standards and practices.
Our mom got mad at me, said I cursed too much on this podcast, so I got to try to.
You really had to pee. It was important that all the F-bombs were.
That's true.
Telling us how much you had to pee.
I really had to pee, or I really had to fucking pee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Which did you feel more?
Yeah. Joe, where can they find you?
Joe Praido on Instagram, at Fix Your Life on Twitter, the Dirty Sports Podcast, and at some point, stand-up comedy shows again.
Right on.
So
don't a thing on Amazon, one of your stand-up sets?
On Vimeo, yeah, Vimeo on demand. Vimeo on demand. I have a comedy special, Joe Praido Takes the Stand, which I shot at the Stand in New York City. So if you enjoyed this, go check that out. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, bro.
Cool, man.
And Daniel.
You can find me at Danny Gonzo34 on Instagram and Twitter.
You can follow me at Ben9Humor, Ben number 9 Humor, like benign tumor, at Instagram and Twitter. And you can follow the show at PRC Pod on Instagram and Twitter. You can email us, contact PRC Pod, if some shit happened to you and you want to tell us about it, or if you want to tell us to stop cursing and you're on Team Linda Gonzalez.
Tell your friends. Share the podcast. Get the word out.
Yes, we are on Apple Pods, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe, like, listen, rate, review. If you want a T-shirt, we don't have one to hold up. We're going to give one to Joe after. They're pretty fucking cool, though.
Dope.
$20. Venmo us, and we got you. Or give us a 5-star review and send us the screenshot of it, and we'll get you. All right? Thank you very much.
Shout out to Brent Urban on Instagram. Does our music for us. Brent Urban, URBN. All right.
Thank you to the Third Wheel Podcast Studio. We're out.
Yeah. Hey. All right. Hey. Yeah, I mean. Hey. Please do remain calm. About to run against it and with a little bit of soul, no times.